first of all, just welcome to Soy Quisero. And what was your first approach with the band, like with Kiss?
Yeah, sure. I think I was 10 when I discovered Kiss. I saw them on TV, on Swedish television, and I was instantly like, wow, what is this? I had never seen anything like it before. And that Christmas, I remember so well because my mother, she bought me a Kiss album. And the thing was, we were sitting around the Christmas table on Christmas Eve, which we celebrate here in Sweden, and I was the only kid. And the grown-ups wanted to drink some and eat some nice food, and they said, "Oh, go and pick one present." So I was like real anxious. So I ran to the Christmas tree, and I got out this flat Christmas present, and I ripped it open, and it was Lick It Up. And I put it on, and I put on my headphones, and it took, I think, 3 seconds of Exciter. Then I said to myself, this is what I want to do with my life. I just knew that was it.
Man, that's crazy because, you're wearing a rock and roll over shirt.
Yeah.
And you're talking about the Lick It Up album, which are two different Kiss type of Kiss.
Yeah.
So in my case, my first album was Rock and Roll Over, and the second one was Lick It Up. And the same happened to me. I think most of the fans also feel kind of the same. And for the listeners, when was that? Like, you were 10, and this was which year?
1985.
85. Cool.
Yeah.
So was the Asylum era?
Yeah.
But Lick It Up was like the first album. So, well, we were talking about the Lick It Up, and that's the year 85.
Yeah.
So, well, and tell us a little bit more. In our show, we were talking a lot about how Kiss, after Dynasty in the 80s era, became huge in other lands, not in United States only, like maybe Sweden. Mexico has the first visit of Kiss in 81 with Eric Carr, and that was like the first approach. They didn't play alive because they didn't have any permission of the government, but still, they were huge in Mexico. How was in Sweden in that time?
Well, actually, Kiss came to Sweden the first time already in 1976.
Yeah.
Right when Destroyer was released. And Sweden has always been a really good country for Kiss. During that tour in Europe, Kiss played for like small places, 1,500 people and maybe 3,000 people. But in Stockholm, they played for 15,000 people. So Sweden has always been a great country for Kiss. And they went here in 76 and in 1980. And then 83, 84, they were huge with Lick It Up and Heaven's on Fire. Really big. But the first time I saw them was in 1988.
And you saw them in Sweden?
Actually, Denmark.
Actually saying that one of the most antique and one of the powerful armies are the Swedish one, since long time ago.
Yes.
You belong to that, Let me tell you a bit in my experience of rock and roll in that Nordic place. I saw Metallica with Slipknot and Lost Prophets in 2004 in Denmark. And they didn't play in Sweden in that tour. So a lot of people from Sweden went to Denmark. First, I realized all the rivalry between both of you, like the rock scene of Denmark and the rock scene of Swedish, is that you have a clash. I saw there in the crowd. And then after I saw in Malmo, like a lot of fans, of rock fans, metal fans, like Swedish metal is important and is very famous all over the world. But that became after Kiss. Kiss was before. And I don't know, I think a lot of you have this very easy way to go to other countries next to other to see a lot of concerts. So in your case was Kiss in Denmark.
Yeah.
Which tour was that?
That was Crazy Nights tour. When I was only 12. So yeah, that was amazing to finally get to see them live. I've been waiting for years for that night, and finally it came. It was really cool. And as you said, I live in Malmö, so it's just a boat trip back then. Now we have a bridge, but it's just Copenhagen is really close. I mean, it takes us 45 minutes to get to Copenhagen. To
Yeah.
Stockholm is 6 hours. It's a big difference. So of course we go to Copenhagen to see concerts.
Yeah, but about Kiss, like they used to play a lot in Sweden as well, as you said before. Like Kiss always liked Sweden.
Yeah, yeah, it noticed. Yeah, it's I guess as it's so interesting when you read about it back in the 76 tour and 1980 tour. I think they didn't like playing in Europe that much because back then it was every country they came to, a lot of countries, and they only had the traditional food. You know,
Yeah.
every night they had some goulash when they came to Hungary, and they had the meatballs here, and like, oh, fuck, I want a burger. You know, so that was for them a really, and they were used to having 30 channels on TV. In Sweden, we had 2. I mean, you know, and they spoke
But you
Swedish.
have, well, we know you play a lot of instruments and your music career is huge. You also study in the Malmo Music Academy. And after listening Exciter in that particular moment, and then after you decide what to do in your life, why Kiss? Like, what was the approach with Kiss? How did you everything started?
Well, the thing was, I have a lot of musicians in my family. My father was a musician, a jazz trumpet player, and singer also. And his father was also a musician. He was mathematician, but also great piano player. And my mother played the piano. Her mother played the piano. We have a lot of people doing music in my family. So it was natural for me to, when I was 3 years old, I started with piano lessons. And when I was 6, I started with trumpet lessons. And it was until I was 10 that I realized, no, fuck that. I want electric guitar. That's what I was doing. So.
Yeah, we were talking with Angel. Well, how funny is that a guy from Sweden making reggae music, which is very Caribbean and very sunshine in a country that you don't have sun at all, maybe, or some days. You live in night for 6 months, and then after another gray days for another 4 months, and then some sunny days for 3 days, and then after raining. Man, and suddenly you have this reggae, great stuff mixed with Kiss. Like, also reggae was part of your whole music tree?
Yeah, it was. It was because when I discovered Kiss, I went crazy. I only listened to Kiss. I mean, it was insane. I think for maybe 4 years, I didn't listen to anything else than Kiss. It was all I cared about. You know, you couldn't see my walls at all because of the posters, and I read the books over and over and over again, and it was not healthy, you know. And my father, he tried like getting me these albums, like maybe you should try listening to this, and I was like, nah, I don't want to, and maybe this, and he tried, and one of those albums was a Swedish guy called Peps, which is a very special. He's a legend in Sweden. He actually took reggae music to Sweden back in the 70s. He adopted reggae music and did Bob Marley songs in Swedish. He translated them and did his own versions, and they are really, really good albums. And those albums influenced me a lot, and I always came back and listened to those things, and I also developed myself and listened to Bob Marley, and so I listened on the side to reggae all these years as well.
You were talking about this Peps that makes reggae in Sweden. So I was telling to you also, I find some of this Bob Marley sampling
Yeah.
in your material. Tell us a little bit more about how this idea came out, and also why you choose that particular set list. Is that something you like, or is like the most fitable with reggae? Like, what was the reason that that set list?
But to choose the songs that works in reggae, it takes a little while to try it out, and not all songs work to be. I mean, you can do anything like with a backbeat guitar and like make it reggae, but to make it credible and make like real work in reggae, then you have to have the right songs. And so we had to try out a lot of different songs to see what works best. I mean, really hard to do the 80s stuff because they have totally different ways of writing songs in the 80s with lots more chords and key changes and things. And that's too complicated.
Let me interrupt because I just want to tell you my favorite song of the whole album is Creatures of the Night.
Yeah.
And it's totally 80s, man. It's a great song.
You're right. But I mean the 80s, I mean 85, 86, I mean 87. I mean those songs, Crazy Nights style. And,
yeah, the glam songs.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about your music background and your other bands, your heavy metal roots, and also your project? That project you have, and that like you have been playing around a lot. So if you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, you know, I started playing really early. I mean, putting together bands and stuff. And in 1999, I joined Andromeda, which is my like you say, real band. You know, with our own material. We do progressive metal. So we've been going on for 20 years or more than that, and doing, I don't know, 5 or 6 albums. I don't know, and 2 live DVDs, and we've been touring around the world. Unfortunately, we've never been to South America, but we played in America, in North America, and we played in like Russia, and we've been over in Asia, and we had a lot of fun doing that. And I also recorded as a singer for a couple of other bands as well. And we started, like, I always thought about it since I was a kid to do a KISS tribute band. We always thought about it would be so much fun to do those old KISS songs. And it just happened by a chance that me and Christopher, my best friend, we got the chance to start a KISS tribute band 10 years ago. And we did. And we put on the live show. And we just for fun, we've been doing it for 10 years on and off. And we even did the KISS Symphony with full symphony orchestra. We did like 8 sold-out shows with 2,000 each night, and it just happened. We just did that, and all this led to Reggae KISS somehow, because after I think 5 or 6 years ago, when we were at a rehearsal, we just fooled around and started doing like some fake reggae of Black Diamond, I remember. And I said to Christopher, like, you got to come to my studio one night with some wine. And he ended up with a bag with 4 bottles of wine. And we drank those and made I Stole Your Love. And everything in one night. And the next night, we saw Paul Stanley. He tweeted about it. And we said, let's do one more. And we did God of Thunder. And after that, since, you know, I've been a professional musician since I was a kid almost, so we know a lot of good musicians. So we just asked our favorite guys if they were interested in recording with us, and everyone said yes. So suddenly we were recording. Now we're a 10-piece band. So we have great guys with us now in the band.
Yeah, and you didn't switch a lot of characters in your band, right? Since Andromeda. Like you were participating with like most of your crew, maybe.
Yeah, for many years.
And those guys were open to reggae.
I know, and I think a lot of like rock or hard rock people, they are really, you know, they only listen to that, and they are really protective about that, and they really don't like it, anything else. But we don't care really, because we do this just because it's fun. We have a lot of fun doing it, and as a musician, it's great. I mean, I have so much energy to put out there and so much love for the music that we just do this because we like it. We don't do it because of money or anything. It's just because it's fun.
Man, but that makes it special.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
it's very fun. I saw it like the first time, the first clip you, I saw it in Facebook. I remember, and then I said, "Wow, man! I never thought reggae fits that well with Kiss." It's a crazy experiment.
yeah.
So the question is, how is to have these two sides? In the first side, you have this Paul Stanley character and totally being like Paul Stanley, and suddenly you are like this regular professional music guy that really loves Paul Stanley and suddenly takes this Paul Stanley to reggae.
Yeah. I don't know. It just comes natural. I mean, uh, I really don't know, but it comes very natural. I mean, and it's also very important to get to do these things as a musician, because I played a lot of concerts with different bands and in different environments, and it can get, I wouldn't say boring, but it can get, you've done it same thing so many times. So to do this is just amazing. It's just so much fun to just do it, not thinking about money, or we don't think about what we want to do next. We just do it because it's a lot of fun, and that makes it cool.
Of course, and let me tell you, when you hear the project, you feel that it's only for fun, and at the end, that fun is what makes it very special and very good done. It's very feasible. Like, let's say, Rock and Roll All Night is not my favorite, let me tell you. But then after you have this New York group, which was like
God
Could
of
You Be
Thunder,
Loved, God
I
of
can see.
Thunder,
Yeah.
Creatures of the Night. Like I don't know if you have this in your account, like how many times people hear your music, but lately you will find in Creatures of the Night a great increase. I have a coffee shop, so I just it's a great music for a coffee shop because fits great with coffee and you can talk, but at the while listening to Kiss. Sometimes Kiss is loud and they take all the environment, but this Reggae Kiss, it's amazing, man. Believe me.
Cool. Yeah.
Why you didn't came to Latin America? Like you having monetary impediments, or was something you just decide to target European market in your last projects?
Uh, I mean, it's because it's so far away, really, and it's really hard to make it uh, to make everything work. And for us with Andromeda, we work through our record company, and it's a big project to get work visas and to get concerts that pay enough for us to fly, and hotels, and yeah, and we've been booked many times to. We've been going to Chile and a couple of times, and it's been booked off in the last minute several times. They've been talking about going to Mexico a couple of times, and it never happened. And too bad. I really want to go.
Let me ask you something as musician. Like since Andromeda, it has been passing around 17 years, around maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
But at the end, what I want to ask you is, how did you feel the change of the music business, such as Kiss? Like you started, with records, and now it's streaming. It has benefits as well. Like pretty easily, you can find Kiss reggae in every part of the world
Mhm.
that back in the days didn't happen. but
Yeah.
now it's easier. You as musician and as a Kiss fan, you live that, like things you used to have now becomes merchandising, and maybe very expensive merchandising, but used to be like regular things for you.
Mm.
In your case, as Kiss fan, how was this transition?
Well, I think it was much more fun back in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s to be a record collector. I mean, dreaming about an album. I hope I find that album someday, or I want to hear. I imagine how it would sound. Now it's just you put it on Spotify or YouTube or wherever, and you hear it. It's no a little bit of the magic is gone that way. Because I remember growing up, like looking at the Kiss covers in a book and just imagining how Gene Simmons' soul album would sound like, and I couldn't afford it, but I was like waiting for it, and now kids
Yeah.
hear it instantly.
No, and also waiting in the radio for the radio station to put the song you want as
Yeah,
well. And also Shazam is another device. You know, I remember back in the days to go to the DJ to ask the name of the songs.
yeah,
And now you don't do that. You know, now people just Shazam the songs and they know, and as you said, it's just a click for the song.
yeah,
But I remember, you know, and that was like a way to share with people with similar things. And then that used to be the way you meet Kiss fans as well. Like you hear, Kiss, yeah, it's Kiss, and that was like a way of talking to to others.
I listen more and more to vinyls these days.
Yeah, me too.
And
Always,
it's like,
always in.
that's a nice one.
Yeah, but that is the Argentinian
Wow.
version with the music. ¿Cómo dice la estampita? Musically something, and has a train, and it's Revolver de Amor
Musical
instead of
Express.
Top Gun.
I know.
Yeah.
Mm, nice.
Revolver de Amor.
Really cool.
Love Gun.
Did they translate more albums? All the albums?
Yeah, like in the
Uh,
case of Argentina and Mexico, the first corporations used to have license for Kiss. They used to translate it, but then after Polygram took all the small ones and they tried to make it as the American versions. But at the beginning they were different also because to not pay licensing, like every country did something different. Let's say Angel now is showing the best of solos, the
Yeah,
Argentinian version,
that's so nice.
and that one it's only Argentinian. They also have the Australian and the European version, but that particular cover was only appear in Argentina,
That's so much better looking than the normal one.
and that is the cassette one. Angel is more in the cassette scene.
Okay, cool.
Can you tell us a little bit about the vinyl, the Kiss Reggae vinyl? Like you were telling us right now, you are a vinyl collector. Is something about with your collection, or you just wanted to make it on vinyl, on wax?
Yeah, I mean, it's something special with the vinyl, and it's so we really wanted to do that. Just a limited edition vinyl, and it sounds so much better on vinyl. I mean, it's something special just to hold it. And actually, we're mixing our second album right now, and we're sending it for pressing very soon. So we have a second vinyl coming again.
Reggae?
Yeah, Reggae KISS.
Awesome, man. That's great news. How many pressings?
400 perhaps.
Wow. Can you just put one of those in your stuff, and then when I go to Sweden, you just can give it to me like as a present?
Yeah.
I can change it for a Mexican edition of Hotter Than Hell, maybe.
Nice. That's nice.
That's cool, man. Can you tell us a bit about your participation with the band and how your interaction with Gene, with Paul, and lately with Bruce Kulick about Tears of Falling with Bruce Kulick? If you can tell us a bit about the project.
Yeah, it was I mean, of course, it's a dream to have a Kiss member on one of the songs. So we actually the two main guys in the band is me and my best friend Christopher. So he said he's a real go-getter. So he said, "Well, I'll write him," and I said, "Yeah, sure." So he wrote to Bruce and asked, like, and it turns out that he really liked our stuff, and he would love to join as well. So I was blown away. I was jumping up and down like 12-year-old. I was so happy, and it turns out really cool, I think.
Of course, man. It's like the dream of every fan, just
And
making music with one of your idols.
yeah, and we got 3 featured guests now on the upcoming album. So it's Bruce Kulick, and we got Ika Mouse, which is a legend reggae guy. And we also got Janne Schaffer, which is the guitar player from ABBA.
Wow.
I mean,
so now disco is in the... No, that's cool. ABBA, they are like icons.
Yeah.
Like if you talk about Sweden, Snooze, ABBA. That's it,
yeah.
man. And Snow.
Yeah, it's really cool because he is a legend, Janne Schaffer, in Sweden as a solo artist and as a musician in many different bands and places. But also he's done all the ABBA stuff, and he's a great guy. And I actually, as a musician, I played with him a couple of times. So we asked him because we know that he has a special relation to reggae, because he was working in Stockholm, outside Stockholm, doing an album in the 70s, and they were living in a house for 2 months, and it was in the 70s, so there were girls coming in and out, and a lot of people, and a lot of partying, and the record company said, "We got another guy coming in from Jamaica. Can you fit him in somewhere for a month to write songs?" And they said, "Yeah, sure." His name is Bob. So Bob Marley, he came to Stockholm, and he lived in the basement next to the radiator for a month before he was known. And he wrote "No Woman No Cry," and he wrote "Stir It Up." And so my friend, like Janne, who is on the album, he showed me these cassettes from back then when they played together, like "Stir It Up."
Wow.
In the basement. So it's really cool. He has this reggae connection. So it was awesome to have him on the album doing Beth.
So what can you tell us about the reaction of the audiences? You know, we are talking about the reggae audience and these great reggae singers, reggae musicians. And, you know, like we can see it's pretty acceptable for people like reggae. But in the case of the rock fans and the pure Kiss fans, of course, people like us, we are fans and we are making this note because we pretty appreciate the project. But what about the others, and what was this how about these reactions with the fans?
Well, I think first, I think it's pretty cool that we got good reactions from like the real reggae fans. I mean, we've been played in reggae radio in France and I mean other countries, and that's really cool. And I have friends that went to Jamaica and they showed our stuff to Jamaicans, and they said, "That's awesome. It's a really good reggae." But why do they have this thing in their faces? Because they never even heard of Kiss. So that's a really good grade, as you say, that we're doing good reggae.
Of course. Wow.
And about the rock audience, I mean, they're very protective about the music. So a lot of people are skeptical, of course. And since we are also having so much fun, we're not making fun of Kiss at all, because we are doing this very seriously, although we have fun doing it, and it's a difference. I mean, so they think that we are, a lot of people, when they hear about it, they think we're just making fun of Kiss or that we're just goofing off. But we're not. I mean, this because we love music. And this is, if you see it as a Kiss fan, we pay tribute to the band. I mean, as you guys, you are hosting a show for Kiss here, and some people are writing books about Kiss. Some people are buying tons of albums, and I do my versions of Kiss songs. It's like we pay tribute to the band for our love for Kiss.
It seems totally from the art of the album until the music, the set list. Like you, a lot of songs and a lot of. Also, you mix with some she. There is a she thing over there. I remember. Like
Yeah,
if you're a fan, if you like Kiss, you will find a lot of signs with
yeah,
something made for the fan.
yeah.
And from the album, you know, you have this Destroyer Rasta thing, bitch. And
David,
until
I sacrificed my Rasta position tonight.
yes, yeah, yeah.
It's great.
Yes, you have all these small signs across the album
Yeah,
that represents that is something made for a rock fan, but
yeah,
for a Kiss fan, sorry. And also you find this stuff make sorry, for a reggae fan, such as all this sampling is used all over the album. And
mm,
as I said before, I find Could You Be Loved and I Shot the Sheriff in a way. So I'll be wait for the second part. Actually, you know, I'm very
yeah.
anxious.
It's even better. It's we're really proud of it. We have some really
Bueno,
cool songs.
We know and we hear a lot about the Destroyer fanzine.
Uh,
Since long time ago, it's one of the most important fanzines and it's pretty established because
yeah,
for 20 years they've been doing a lot of stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that participation you just have with them?
yeah. It was.
The note of the reggae. What reggae New York group? No, what was the reggae groove? What
Yeah, I
was
can
the
show
title
you.
of the?
I can show you. It's right here. It's a great magazine, really. In Sweden's Kiss army is really strong. So yeah,
You represent what Swedish is. You know, everything you do in the best way. Even is a magazine or even is reggae covers of Kiss. Every Swedish Kiss thing is very well done. That's also one of the reasons people looks a lot for the Swedish editions. The only Swedish thing I have in my collection is the Never Mind the Bollocks, the Sex Pistols one, the Swedish pressing, the Virgin
right.
one. But Kiss, like it's hard to find, and everything is very well done.
Yeah,
So congratulations for everything you have been doing with Kiss. Very, very interesting, man. And you know, it's very strange that one of the best reggae things I find it's made in Sweden.
it is strange. I know.
Like most of the fans are a bit lost. Like it's a reggae Caribbean cover of Kiss, but suddenly you realize it's made in Sweden. So I think it's I don't think it's a perfect combination. It's a very strange actually,
It
but
is.
still it's very well done and it captures a lot about what Kiss is. Uh, all these small details are pretty accurate for the set list you choose.
Yeah, I mean, we put
Ha-
a lot of work into it.
is everything was choose for you? All the guys of the band were participating in choosing the set list of the album.
No, it was me and Christopher.
Are you
We,
the only fan, or what about the other guys of the band? Are they Kiss fans, or they respect Kiss, but they are not that very fans?
yeah, both. I mean, some guys are more Kiss fans than others, but everyone respects Kiss. But we are the hardcore Kiss fans. I mean, I'm
Is
the one
this,
who have like 1.5 meters of Kiss books in my collection. I mean, I read it like for the fourth time.
of course? Yeah, I totally understand. Like me and Angel are the same. We never got tired to talk about the same, to read about the same, to listen about the same, and some small changes happen, and something is a great new, you know.
Yeah,
And we are also very hardcore fans. As hardcore fan, what is to be in a band? Sometimes you feel in a way rejected. You know, I read about you and you like Typo Negative. I saw them with Pantera in Mexico back in 2001, I think. Was one of a great concert, but I remember I went to that concert with my band. I used to play in a small band, and my drummer and my guitar player, they never got into Kiss. They were more Dream Theater, like more professional rock in a way, and I always find in Kiss something very different. They saw Kiss as a business, not as a band, and for me, Kiss was like my life, man.
Mm.
What about you? What happened with you? Like all this time you've been being fan.
Well, I guess a lot of fans, Kiss fans, they abandoned the ship. I mean, in the '90s, when the band had a hard time, in the end of the '80s and the early '90s, Kiss were really down. You can say, and a lot of they didn't get any play on MTV here or any radio play, and many thought that Kiss wasn't around even before the reunion. People thought they quit. So a lot of rock fans, they didn't listen, but I kept with them all this time. But of course, I developed during that time, and I listened to a lot of Metallica, and Sepultura was a huge influence.
Yeah.
And
let me ask you, how about your point of view of Revenge? Because Revenge was like in that particular period you were talking about. Revenge came out and Carnival of Souls, with both were the more darker albums of the whole Kiss story. What about you in those albums?
I was super happy about Revenge, and actually, it's so funny in one way because of Unholy, you think of that album as being very dark, but it's not. I mean, it's only Unholy. You know, the rest of the songs are pretty happy and glammy. You know, it's like it's like when you think about Gene Simmons, you think about the Demon, thinking about like. But if you think about it, he never sung that many songs about being, you know, it was God of Thunder, and it was Almost Human,
War Machine.
War Machine.
But not so many. You think that every Gene song is
not at all. And if you hear the Gene Simmons solo album, you find Gene Simmons is pretty calm in a way. Totally, Ace is more hardcore than Gene, I think. What you were saying about the Revenge with Unholy, it happens to us, to Angel and to me, with Crazy Nights and with Dynasty. If you take Crazy Nights, like the song, and if you take I Was Made for Loving You, they are not that disco and they are not that poppy. They're more rock. And you know, it's crazy how a big act, like the big hit of the album, changes if you change taking out.
The perception.
Yeah, it's like I mean, imagine for a band like Van Halen that if you say Van Halen, everyone thinks of Jump, that has no guitars. It's no guitars. I mean, it's crazy. Everyone thinks that Van Halen is a synth band. Normal people. I mean. That's crazy.
Yeah, of course. Like, let me ask you one question. Angel and me, always we ask this question to our guests. So, if you are dating a girl and she doesn't like Kiss, and the first approach to Kiss, which will be in your case, what album is the one you are playing for a girl, or for the one never hear Kiss?
Oh, yeah, probably I would say Kiss Alive.
Wow. For Angel is Unplugged.
Oh, yeah. That's just because he wants the girls.
It's very tricky. Yeah, totally. I don't know if your wife, your girlfriend, she's also in the participating with you in projects. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, she's actually a backup singer, and she did all the background vocals on the album.
Wow!
As well, so and it's pretty fun because now She released an album. She's a great singer. She released an album with her band Infinity and Divine. And actually, we put together it as a live project. So I'm the bass player there now.
Wow.
We help each other out.
So how is to came back again to the stage, like dressing as Paul Stanley, and you just made this streaming a live version. So can you just tell us a little bit more about it, and how did you feel it to go back again to the stage?
Well, that was amazing. I mean, it was so much fun because we have been doing Reggae KISS for 6 years now, but we never got to do it live because it's such a big project. I mean, we want to do it good, and we want to do all the best musicians, and we have a 10-piece band. We're 10 people. And those musicians in the band that we have with us are really top guys in Sweden. So you can imagine how hard it is to get everyone at one place at the same time. It's really tough.
Of course.
We planned to play live many times, but just as the COVID kicked in, we had to cancel. And then this whole year, and finally we got this offer to do a stream concert. And it was the most fun I've had as a musician for years. I've done so many gigs as a musician, being out playing with different artists or playing for money or whatever, doing things on a daily basis. But this was something completely different. We look forward to this. I don't remember when I looked forward rehearsing. I don't remember. I must have been 13 years old or something. It was a long time ago that I looked forward to going rehearsing. I mean, now I've been playing for so long that it's like, oh damn, we gotta rehearse. Okay, let's do it. But now,
Man,
yes. And finally we did it live, and we did it under the best circumstances ever. I mean, a big theater with a great film crew, a great lighting crew, and everyone, nobody has worked for a year, so everyone was so happy. I mean, the lighting guys, they spent 3 whole days planning the lights, just programming everything, and the film crew was super excited. And it turned out that we had the best live debut ever.
It's crazy, man, because you sound that happy, and let me tell you, this is happening to a lot of people of our audience. Like, we have been dealing with this sickness for a year and a half, maybe, and in Latin America, let me tell you, things are slower, and totally get it. You know, in the coffee shop, when people got together, they talk and talk and talk and talk because they have long time without talking. So now, even with work, you have been with no working. So when you need to work, you do it perfectly, as needs to be, totally. And it's crazy how you are talking about, because everything sounds that perfect in the whole thing I've been hearing, from the YouTube clips till the Spotify album of reggae. Everything is very professional. Even it sounds sometimes like people jamming, which is also very cool. Also, when you talk about bands like Kiss or reggae, like, I don't know if you ever heard about Sublime. They're Californian. They are reggae, punk rock. All right. It's one of those bands, such as Kiss, in another type of music, but when they are jamming, sounds very professional. You don't need like the professional thing. It's only to jam. But as you said before, if you have all these circumstances with the great audio, with great video, with great everything, what can be better, man?
No, the only thing that can be better is an audience, and that was.
Yeah, but you have it in streaming.
Yeah, because we finally did our concert, and I can't tell you how much fun we had. I mean, I've been wanting to do this for 6 years live, and we finally got to do it. And we got to do it in such a great way, and it sounded awesome, and we had so much fun. And afterwards, we were saying to each other, imagine if there was an audience.
You know, at the first approach I had with you and with your project, I thought you were a band for the cruise. Like I
Yeah,
said, maybe these guys are like Caribbean environment, drinking in a pool with Kiss. Like
yeah,
it sounds perfect for a cruise.
yeah,
So I think now I think you are like the best option for a Kiss cruise. If it
yeah.
comes up again, you are like the best option ever.
That's our goal to play there. That would be.
Good, good.
All right, I don't know if this is like a very easy question, but can you tell us your top three of the albums of the Reggae Kiss? Like you have your favorite Kiss songs, maybe, but what you did in the album, which are like the ones you like the most?
The songs that we did.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I like Naked City a lot,
Such as Ángel. Ángel me dijo eso.
and I don't know, Love Gun and Creatures of the Night, perhaps. On this on
Mira,
the coming album, we have a lot of cool new songs. We
Can
have
you give us an advance of what is coming out? But
yeah, we have 100,000 Years, and that is maybe the best one. And we have A World Without Heroes.
nice.
Yeah, and Tears Are Falling with Bruce, and we have 2000 Man, and yeah, it's a lot of cool songs.
That is there the chance that you made a version of a demo song, a key song like Sword Stone of Paul Stanley, or some demo
that's for
version
you.
in reggae?
Yeah, I have thought about it actually, like maybe doing a Wicked Lester song or something.
Wow, yeah.
Yes,
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. We'll see. That would be fun.
And so, a ver, Ángel is going to tell you which are the three favorite ones. Ángel decía, Naked City is the first. Dinos, Ángel, ¿cuál es tu favorita de las tres?
Naked City, God of Thunder.
Have you ever heard the Paul version of God of Thunder?
Of course.
Like the one sounds more like disco.
Yeah, yeah.
Angel says that you mix both versions, like the Gene heavy one and the Paul one, and then you are in the middle with this reggae going and back.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I didn't think about it.
¿Qué otra?
Bueno, I Stole Your Love me sorprendió cuando escuché I Stole Your Love.
I Stole Your Love.
Yeah, that was the first one we did.
In my opinion, I tell you, Creatures of the Night is the best one. I Stole Your Love is the second one. And New York Groove.
Yeah.
New York Groove, it mixed very good the classical Bob Marley reggae with Kiss. And I always admire Bob Marley as a reggae artist, not only for the music, also politically speaking, but was crazy because was with New York Groove. I never thought that that song can fit with New York Groove. And both were hits in Mexico. Something you to start the close up of the show, that something more you want to add, something you want to say to your Latin American friends, or some invitation you want to make.
Yeah, I mean, please join our Facebook page, and there you'll see all the new stuff coming out. We have our Reggae Fridays, Reggae Kiss Fridays.
Cool.
We put out a new song every Friday now from the concert we did. So
it's on streaming.
Yeah, so we put it out on YouTube. A new song every Friday, and we put out a new song from the upcoming album every other week. So because we played 50-50 from the first and the second album, so every other week you will hear something new you haven't heard before.
Good.
Cool.
And I really hope that one day we'll come to Argentina and play. That would be a dream.
That's cool, man. Also, if you can come to some Mexican beach, in the beaches, like that music is very beach. And if you are a beach person, you should come to Mexico once as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Latin America is something in your plans, maybe.
I would love to go to Latin America. That would be awesome.
We will waiting for you.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, well, David, for the last, it's a personal question. Who is your best Kiss member?
Well, I have to say, Ace Frehley, I would have to say. I mean,
Same, totally.
he's Mr. Rock and Roll.
Yeah. And what about your top 5 Kiss albums? I won't ask you for your favorite one because for a Kiss fan, you know, everybody asks you, hey, what is your favorite Kiss song? Hard to say.
Yeah,
What
so
is your favorite Kiss album? Hard to say. So you have like from the thunder rock of the 70s, you have the glam of the 80s, you have the disco of the 70s,
yeah,
you have also the heavy metal of the 90s, and
yeah.
you have the pure rock and roll of all time. So
And the problem is that I've listened so much that today I listen almost never to the most famous songs. Today I listen to the deep cuts. I mean, I don't listen to I Was Made for Loving You or Love Gun today. I listen to You're All That I Want, and I listen to Ozone, and I listen to All the Way.
the old, yeah, I find, you know, when you got mature in your life, you enjoy things that you didn't used to enjoy back in the days.
Yeah,
It happened to me with The Elder. We were talking about that with Angel. I don't know. The Elder is not the best album, but nowadays I think it's a masterpiece, man.
yeah. And
Well,
today I listen more to The Elder or Unmasked than to maybe Love Gun because it's so obscure. So yeah,
so you didn't ask your top 5 albums, man.
I would say I have to say Kiss Alive is like absolutely one of them. Unmasked is one of them, and Destroyer, of course. Creatures of the Night, and then it's so hard. I mean, it could be anyone, but Rock and Roll Over, I think, or
Nice.
Rest to Kill, perhaps. Yeah, it's hard.
Nice.
They're all good.
We're similar, totally similar. Also, you missed the Lick It Up.
Yeah,
So, you know, it's pretty hard. You were saying Lick It Up is one of the best pieces, and in the
yeah,
5 minutes, just capture your whole life. And suddenly, it's not appearing your top 5, but still you talk about Kiss, and it's huge. It's huge.
yeah,
It's very hard.
David.
David, thank you very much. We appreciate the time, and great to talk to you.
Yeah. Thank
If
you.
you come once to Mexico and to Argentina, just make the contact, and you have someone in these places. And with no doubt, you will have news for us if we go to Sweden.
Sure. Awesome.
If you want Soy Quisero as a diffusion space, and if you want to add your new songs, what is coming every week, or if you have news to share to Latin American audience, just count with us. We translate everything to Spanish to these people, and it's going to be great that, you know, try to put your music and your stuff to this area of the world.
That's awesome. Thanks.
You're more than welcome, man. And just have a good night, enjoy, and keep on rocking in the free world, as people say.
Yeah.